Navy blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubby, Ranto, and the lovable losers. Ranto, and the lovable losers. Ranto.
That kind of grit will warm you up on a cold winter night, let me tell you. I could light my Yule log on fire with that.
Yeah, my dog just got very excited, jumped up and was like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah, can we train your dog to do something when you scream?
Oh, fun. God, I wish I could teach this dog to do a lot of things. Right now, the thing I really want her to learn is to not sit directly under the wheels of this rolly chair because I feel like I'm going to roll over her feet all the time.
Oh, I'm surprised you haven't done it yet at all. But I would like to welcome everybody to the Son Ranto show because it's going to be a great show tonight. And I want to thank our 94 paid Patreon supporters. You got a bunch of unpaid ones. I don't know what the deal with those guys are, but the 94 paid ones, I'm a big fan of. They support us at patreon.com/Bleacher Bunch. But I especially want to thank Blake Beard and Bernie Barron who support the Bleacher Bunch. That's so many bees. It's so exciting.
I love the bees. I love the kill. Let's call them. Can we call them the killer bees?
The killer bees, the Blake Beard, Bernie Bear, Bleacher Bunch supporters, Bleacher Bunch backers.
Ah, there we go. Bleacher Bunch backers. The
for you to say. And of course, I want to thank our sponsors in the Clutch shirts and Matt Kemmer and his amazing permanent paintings, whose artwork hangs over our head. And a new sponsor I want to announce tonight, and that is because I was like, how can we monetize this show further? How can I get more money out of people?
How can we get more than very little?
Well, I figured what I would do is I'd make Danny Rocket's Amazon wish list, which is just crap I need on Amazon, like cat food and stuff for the mom shrine. And I even made a little AI video. It goes like this.
Want to back your favorite independent Cubs podcaster? Check out Danny Rocket's wish list. Grab something from Amazon for Danny and the mom shrine and keep the microphones hot all season long.
Amazing AI. I love AI.
What is the voice there?
I have no idea. AI. Yeah.
Fired. So, whoever has that voice.
If you go to sonranto.com/stuff, you can find my wish list and buy me cat food. Well, not me, the cat food. The cat, you buy the cat food, but it means I don't have to buy it. But it's just another way you can say thank you to Son Ranto show by buying stuff for the mom shrine, like batteries and tea lights and cat food for my cat. I'm trying new things, Michael. It's year 14. What are we gonna do?
And we've been doing this so long and we've made so little money that we are now eating cat food, just like all those old people in the horror stories you hear about.
It really is about the death of the currency, though. I don't even blame the people. I blame the Federal Reserve. And I would also like to blame, I will blame the people for this. The Son Ranto calendar sales are too light. So you got to go to sonranto.com/calendar and get your picture in the Ranter calendar. All you get, it's $30. I'll send it to your house. That's with shipping and everything, tax, shipping, everything. It's $30. And I'll send you a calendar full of all the amazing pictures of the year. It was so wonderful to go through all the pictures from the year and see all the fun we had. It made me exhausted.
Yeah.
So anyway, www.sonranto.com/calendar. Get your picture. You got about a week to order, and then it's getting ordered, and then you're done. But the reason I'm excited tonight, #Chance in the chat. You can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. I have one right here to show the people, 2 of them. But I want to invite to the show a man who I'm embarrassed that we haven't had on yet. And his artwork will live forever in front of Wrigley Field. I think it's safe to say, if there is a forever, and Lou Sella will be part of that forever. So welcome to the Sun Ranto Show, my good friend Lou. How you doing?
Hello. Great. Thanks for having me on.
Staying warm. I know you. We just found out before we went live on the air that we actually went to the exact same high school. John Hersey High School. Go Huskies.
Go Huskies, right?
So you said your class of
81.
81. I'm class of 92. So we graduated 11 years apart. Similar teacher. We had same teachers. You just went to lunch with my old technical director from the theater, Ed Moon.
That's right.
That's wild. So coincidences abound. So, but I don't want to bury the lead. You are your most famous thing that you've done is not going to high school with me. That is for darn sure. But
Well, I got to think about it now.
it's the most coincidental thing you've maybe done today. But
That's true.
But yeah, you if people don't know, you made all of the statues outside of Wrigley Field. You started, I believe the first one was Harry Carey.
Right.
Ernie Banks was second, and now I kind of don't remember the order. Maybe it was Billy Williams or Ron Santo.
Yeah, no, Billy, then Ron, Fergie, and Rhino.
Fergie and Rhino. And so you made all of those statues in addition to numerous statues that are down at Sox Park, also all around the country. So I just was, so that's your claim to fame, but like, tell me about where you're from.
I was born in Chicago. Dad and granddad, I'm the third. They brought me up Cub fan. In fact, granddad was alive and remembered when they had won the World Series last. And he used to go and see them at the old West Side grounds where they played before they moved over to Wegman, which became Wrigley. And parents moved out to the suburbs, and I grew up in Arlington Heights. And as you mentioned, we went to Hersey High School, where art was always in the blood. So I was doing art from as a little kid on, and went to Illinois State University, was a graphic designer. And then I had a little sculpting background there. I really didn't start doing it until many years after college, when it was a hobby. And at some point, after I had been doing it on my own for a number of years, I wanted to get better at it and was looking for somebody who was better at it than me that could teach me. And at that time, I learned that the husband and wife team who made the sculpture of Michael Jordan were teaching in the area in Highland Park. And I had seen that sculpture right after it unveiled. And I went and looked at it and thought, wow, if I were ever going to do something on this scale, this was how I would want it to look. This is the style I would want to learn. And I went to their studio and signed up immediately. And a few years later, Harry Carey passed away, and they immediately began to pursue conversations with John McDonough, who was the head of marketing and broadcasting for the Cubs at the time. And Omri Amrani, the husband of the husband and wife team, was going to be going there with his agent. And he knew that I was a baseball junkie, by then a fan of both teams. And that makes me the unicorn. And he wanted me to go with. And because he's an Israeli immigrant. And at one point, and honest to God truth, while I was talking baseball one day, he said to me, "Lou, tell me, what is base?"
Oh, wow.
Boy. Wow. If you weren't born here and grow up with it, why would you know, right? So that was how we began our baseball education road together. I did bring him and his son the last year that Harry Carey was alive in broadcasting. I took them to a game where they beat the soon-to-be world champion Florida Marlins. And then Harry's passing happened, so we went there and started having these meetings, and they were clearly interested in doing something. We didn't know for sure, but we started doing drawings, different designs, and towards the end of July, they signed a contract to have us do it. And immediately, I had a job at the time, so I would be going to the studio at night.
What were
And
you doing for work at the time?
I was working in a model and graphics house called Kaleidoscope Imaging over in the West Loop, and I was a model maker there, where I was doing some sculpting, but doing a lot of fabrication, model fabrication. It was a terrific job, actually. But after Harry Carey started to come to a completion, the Detroit Tigers just called and said they wanted 5 statues for Comerica Park, which had not been built yet.
Wow,
And
5.
and 5, yeah, it started.
Yeah, that's a heck of an order.
That's the biggest single order we've ever had. And Omri said, "Lou, I need to hire you full time." So I had to say goodbye to Kaleidoscope Imaging, and that was 1999. So we were still completing Harry Carey; it hadn't unveiled yet, and we started working on these 5 Detroit Tigers, which later became 6, and then a couple of years later 7 when they added Ernie Harwell. But the studio does many, many more things beyond baseball or even sports, and it runs hot and cold through the years. And there are disappointments, projects that we don't get, but we've been very fortunate in Chicago. We've developed a solid relationship through the years with both the Cubs and the White Sox, and it's a lot of fun because I've been a baseball fan forever, and I wasn't even good enough to get on that Hersey High School baseball team, much less a
Me
major
neither.
league team.
I got cut too, Lou.
Yeah.
Well, that's how artists end up in this seat.
Exactly. And I just always felt like having some kind of connection, like tons of these Cub fans do. I mean, you know what this is like. You talk to everybody along these lines on this show, and I would pursue it through art. When I was still in high school, I was a peanut vendor. It was my first job. And the summer of 1979, I worked at Wrigley Field selling Coke, peanuts, and Frosty malts.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Lou, you got to give us your call.
Coke here. That's your Coke. No, wait a minute. This is specific because I was 16, right?
Right.
It went like this. Because it was not Pepsi. It was still Coca-Cola. And Coke here. Coke here. Coke. My voice was in the final stages of changing. and there was not one time, because I started to really pay attention, there was not one time where it would crack that somebody didn't make fun of me right back to my face.
My gosh.
They would imitate me right back at me when that would happen. And the amazing thing about selling Coke that I learned the hard way was when you would yell Coke here from a distance, it would sound like cold beer. And when you're walking the aisle between the lower box seats and then the seats
Terrace,
that go up under the exactly. They've changed the name through the years. Well, when somebody would call you to go up, that's a long stairway. And I'd go up 3 rows from the top, and the guy would look at me and say, "Oh, I thought you were selling old style."
We're looking for a cold beer, not a Coke here.
Yeah. So, and I was in sports and stuff in high school a little bit, so I was in pretty good shape, but I wasn't in that kind of shape. And those old characters that were working there, there was a peanut guy who was in his 70s at the time, and he walked circles around me.
He's still there. He's 140 years old. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't last. I only was able to do it the one summer, but it was a lot of fun. In fact, I think another vendor who I'm almost positive of this, that was also started that summer, who stayed there for many years, was the writer Barry Rosner.
Oh yeah,
I'm fairly certain that he was one of my high school coworkers at the time. I haven't met him ever, so I haven't had a chance to bounce that off of him. But yeah, so anyway,
Well, that's a great start. You start as a vendor, a peanut vendor, end up as the man who creates the statues that immortalize the greatest players in Cubs history outside of Wrigley Field. And I saw it happen so recently because we lost Rhino last year, and the statue was brand new, pretty much. It hadn't even been up a year, I don't think. At the and so you have you do the dedication, then he passes away, and then we had a place to lay the flowers. We had our grave already out there for him, so it's taken on that kind of like gathering place. I know Harry Carey is the same way, and I want to put up a picture of the Harry Carey statue because that is the first one, and he's the reason why I'm sitting here, because in the 80s, early 80s, when Harry Carey moved over from the White Sox, I was just enamored by saying things backwards, and just like the Steve and Harry show that was on as a kid was just must see TV. I love this statue so much. They actually made a bobblehead of it, and they made a statue of it as well. So it's been replicated as well. But I want everybody to look at the bottom. As you can see in his pants, there's all the fans' faces in Chicagoans coming out of the pants. And I always understood that when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's so cool that it's the fans that are coming out of, Harry's coming out of the fans. That's what a neat thing that you decided to do as an artist. And then I thought, to a person who's not a Cubs fan and understands maybe what that means, it must look so strange. And I did find a quote in a book that I own called Roadside America, where it's legendary. It says Harry Carey faces in his pants is how it's described. It says bizarre statue depicts a gargantuan sportscaster rising out of a tiny baseball stadium, thrusting a microphone forward. Tiny human heads seem to be bubbling out of his pants.
Oh, I heard it referred to as Hellraiser and all kinds of crazy stuff. There's all kinds of legends that pop up around these things. And Harry has a lot of them, obviously, beyond his life. Like another one that began right away was that we designed the open hand to hold a can of beer, which was simply not true.
Oh, Danny, put the picture up there. Let's.
So you see
that looks like
right?
it would hold a beer.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does. And here's what the story was. So Omri brought me on as a co-sculptor on that. So that's actually both of us that sculpted that together. And I was learning. I mean, I was really an apprentice on this thing. I did half the work for sure, but it was the both of us, and he's just been a miraculous mentor to me. We still are working on things together to this day, and he was the one creating that hand. And I said to him, Omri, the whole point of this is he's going a one, and that hand is not. It's ambiguous. And he said, well, look at the photos. And he had these recent photos from the 1998 Cub convention. And he said, we're talking about an old man here with arthritis. And I'm looking at the photos, and we used to fight like cats and dogs over these things. But I looked at the photos and I said, okay, yeah, you're right. That's what he's doing. That's fine. And then at the end of the process, somebody looked at it while we were finishing it up and said, boy, you could drop a beer right in that hand, couldn't you? And I stood looking at it and I thought, oh my God, that's what they're going to do. They're going to think we did this on purpose. And well, so what? Let them do it. And in those first few years after it went in, people there told me that every day they had to go out and remove a can out of that hand. People were putting a Budweiser can or whatever kind of can.
You sure it wasn't just a drunk that climbed up there and was like, I'm going to take the Harry beer and catch a buzz.
They did everything. There was early on, one of the security people, because I went back to do some kind of maintenance. He said that he came out and there was some fella walked right up to it, climbed up it like a step ladder, wrapped his arms around it and kissed it, and then climbed down and left.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. You're things like that all the time, and you guys understand what the faces are. I mean, they're the fans singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" with Harry, and people don't. They don't necessarily understand it any more than they understand some of the poses in the other ones. But or like there, I have seen
Let's
articles
show
written
some other
about.
ones.
Sure.
Here's Ernie Banks. It's
Well,
at
that's
night.
a good place to start because that one, two people that are clueless about Ernie Banks have criticized the static nature of the pose. Now, anybody who understands Ernie Banks, Cub fans, even people who never saw him play, that's iconic. That's like the Michael Jordan jumping man to Cub fans. And when I worked very hard to recreate those moving fingers, as Jack Brickhouse would say, those moving fingers and cocked wrists take aim at the record books as Ernie gets ready to hit his 500th home run, and there was never any real discussion about that pose on that sculpture. It was always going to be that because that's Ernie.
You know, what you're saying there too is really interesting. So you're talking about their hands, like you're talking about Harry's hands, and then you're talking about Ernie's hands. I think the thing probably drew you to the Michael Jordan statue is the sense of movement that your studio creates in a lot of their statues. I've been, while you were talking, I'm going through a whole bunch of your statues, like looking through your website. It's like pretty amazing.
It's like they're going to jump off the page. Like they're almost you're catching them in a moment of movement almost, so you see that you're just, well, I guess that's what a statue is. It's just a moment.
There's a lot of movement in those things, but like what you're talking about here, you do have to know, like if you know Ernie and you know the way his hands moved right before, you're going to see that and you're going to love it. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty awesome. It's like like an Easter egg for the true fans while also putting this thing out there.
Well, and I create in my mind as I'm working on them a story that I may just be reading or living, whatever, for lack of a better term, some real story about the person or a memory going on. And with Ernie, a close friend came to me and said, the first ball game my dad ever took me to was because he asked, when is this supposed to actually be taking place? Do you have a set time? And I said, yeah, well, it's 1959. They wanted the look to be the second year he won the most valuable player. And he said, that's when my dad took me to my very first game. And I said, oh, no fooling. And he said, they were playing the Milwaukee Braves. The great Warren Spahn was pitching with 2 outs and 2 on, and the Cubs down by a run. He walked some long forgotten Cub and loaded the bases. And Ernie Banks came up and hit a grand slam off of Warren Spahn. And he said, and I said, that's what you saw your very first trip to Wrigley Field? And he said, absolutely. He said, obviously, he said, I'll never forget it. And his name was Gary. And I said, Gary, from now on, I wasn't done working on it at the time. I said, but from now on, when anyone asks, when is this taking place? I said, that is Ernie's smiling because that is instance before he hits a grand slam off of Warren Spahn. So that's
I'm going to tell people that too.
Absolutely. Print the myth.
You would never imagine it's like right before you grounded out to second,
yeah, somehow doesn't have the same romance. And by the way, you might actually know this guy Gary. Did you ever shop at Moondog's Comic Land?
I did.
Gary Calabono was Moondog. He was the owner.
Is that? Oh my! I know exactly. I've used to think that they modeled comic book guy after him.
Oh my gosh!
So our worlds have collided even farther. But
yeah, that was the one that
told me that story.
Downtown Arlington Heights, right?
Well,
is that Moondog?
He had them all over. He had them in Mount Prospect. He had him in Randhurst. In Buffalo Grove.
No, I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of the one where I sold my baseball cards to take a girl to prom. So that was
What?
the one by the train station in downtown Arlington Heights.
Right. No, that wasn't Moondog.
That was a move, but I remember Moondogs. I'm just conflating the places because, well, I want to put up a couple more of your statues here. I took a bunch of photos at night. I really think it's so beautiful. This isn't the best photo of this stuff, but if you could see, it's all lit up. Everything's uplit. They made those new pedestals out there in Gallagher Way. They really did a great job. There's a spot for another statue down there. I have a suggestion. I know you and I were talking about it the other day at but was it the benefit we went to or the
Sure. The Pitch and Hit Club, yeah.
yeah, the Pigeon Hit Club. But here's Billy Williams. I took this photo. You
Oh,
see
that's
this?
cool.
There's a spider web. There's a spider that.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
His head. There's a spider web that was built between the bat and his helmet. And it was a spider up there one night. I got a bunch of pictures of it. I'll have to show you the rest of
Oh,
it.
that happens a lot on those things. A lot of times they make little tiny webs right inside their eyeballs.
Oh, cool.
Oh, right. That's going to be Danny's next bunch of pictures.
Eyeball spiders. Yeah. And here's Ron Santo and, talk about being in motion, everything about him, like for the creases on his pants as he's like winging the ball from third base to first across the diamond and then nailing a runner. It's like so obvious what's going on there.
So
yeah, we had a lot of conversation about doing that one because we had done Ernie and Billy, at bat. And even though Ron was certainly known for his home run power, Mark McGuire was the VP I worked with in those years on these, and he wanted to go defense. And I said I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said that. I had this vision of him running in for a ball and like off balance throw it, and he said exactly a fielding a bunt. That's what I have in mind. And so we were on the same page from go on that. And I love how that one turned out. And that one actually has a fun little piece of trivia about it. It's a 1969 uniform. It's the only one of the bunch that is a 69 uniform. And there was Danny, I don't know if you ever knew a guy named Dan Knoll. He was the absolute preeminent Cubs collector in the world. His collection was just remarkable. And I met him back in the 80s. And I called him and invited him to come and look at these things because I knew he wouldn't miss a trick. And as it turned out, he owned all of the uniforms that the guys wore in 1969. And he brought one with, including a cap. And he was studying it, make sure everything was accurate. And he was very happy with how it looked. But then he showed me the funniest little thing, the little red button on the top of their cap. That year only, the little button was not wrapped in the red wool twill.
Okay.
It was wrapped in red leather or vinyl or something. Anyway, it looked like leather. And I went, oh my gosh. I said, how crazy. And I said, Dan, don't move. And so we were standing there looking at the clay. I got up on a ladder and I sculpted in a leather texture on that little button while he was watching. And at the time I said, only you and me are ever going to know that thing is sculpted to look like leather. But I did it, and it's accurate. Of course, now I've told the story 1,000 times, and you guys.
Well, you need a ladder to see, but you need to be really tall or get a ladder to be able to even see it.
And that happens all the time. Yeah, I'll go to all this trouble to put like sleeve patches on some of them, and that where their arms are raised, and like I'm putting all this effort and energy to make it exactly right, and. No, it's like unless you're above it or with a drone.
I mean, they're all incredible, though. I want to show the Fergie one too. This was one of my favorite ones. And I mean, mid pitch, you got that stride perfectly. I saw Fergie pitch towards the end of his career in the mid 80s. He was actually on that 83, 84. He was back on the Cubs for those years. And man, what an amazing dude, and the fact that he's still with us and like coming to CubsCon and talking to everybody and being a huge part of everything. We're just so lucky to have some of these guys that are in the statue still alive too.
He's a remarkable man, isn't he? He talking to him about the first time he pitched in Wrigley Field. I don't know if you ever heard him tell that story. He was pitching for the Phillies. and Ron Santo hit a walk-off home run.
Yeah, I have heard that story. Yeah.
He
Poor
said the
kid.
wind was just howling out, and he hit what really should have been like a pop-up, and it carried out. And I asked him, I said, so did Santo just like play that up to your face for the rest of your career? He said, oh, of course. He said, I never heard the end of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that there was a story that was actually told at Cubs convention, and because these guys remember all this stuff when Rick Sutcliffe like threw at Andre Dawson's face when he was at Expo and Dodgers Expo, and 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 they both remembered it like it was yesterday. Like I thought they were gonna fight on the stage over this moment.
Wow.
But
I never heard that story.
yeah, Sutcliffe, you said, "Oh, I got you good," and he's like, "You know, I'd let this guy never forget it." And Dawson, and this was something I didn't expect to hear when I woke up that morning. Dawson's like, he made me look like Adolf Hitler, and I was like,
Oh, Jesus.
I know, because of the because it gave him a weird mustache, because it like tore a hole in his mustache, and it gave him a Hitler mustache, I guess.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I don't think there's too many worlds in which Andre Dawson ends up looking like Hitler.
Well, what's ironic about that story was how when they were both on the Cubs and Eric Shaw knocked Andre Dawson clean out, the first guy out of the dugout charging the mound was Rick Sutcliffe
Yeah, they had
going
to hold him
after
back.
Eric Shaw.
Yeah.
That was a free for all. And when I was working with Ryan Sandberg, I asked him about that game, and he said, "Yeah, that was we all kind of knew it was coming." Andre hit 2 home runs the day before, and Andre even Sutcliffe asked Andre right before he went up. He said, "Are you worried? Are you worried that he's going to throw at you?" And he said, yeah. And then he did, and it turned into that whole melee.
Wow. That's wild. That he was actually already knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So rough. Totally different game back in the day.
Well,
Yeah.
you brought up Sandberg. We lost him, but that was the last one that you did. Ryan Sandberg, Rhino turned into a shrine for him, unfortunately, gone too soon. But you know, a lot was made about that he was just jacked. You know, that you made him jacked, and I was like, well, that's Ryan Sandberg was jacked.
Right. And when we had a photograph, we had a lot of photographs. I mean, you know, that pose he only did thousands of
the
times
flip
in his
ups.
career.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was going to say the flip up glasses. So many people made note of that, as you know, and like we were talking about earlier, like the fine details that you guys are finding in their sort of for the true fans of that player. That's something that they look at and they're like, I remember this little bit, and it makes them love it that much more.
This is another great example of somebody that doesn't understand it, criticizing that pose, thinking it's not interesting. Ryan Sandberg himself chose everything you're talking about. I can't claim credit. He wanted those sunglasses, and he chose that pose, and he posed. He was in such great shape. He put on a uniform and a blue batting practice Cub jersey so I could see all the folds and everything, and wore the glove, the 1984 glove, so I could photograph that as well. And he pushed for those flip downs, and he didn't have any, so I had to shop around extensively, going to those memorabilia shows in Rosemont and other places till I finally found a pair on eBay, and he signed off on them. He said, "That's it, make them look like that." So I had something that I could create an enlargement off of and put on there, because he was very passionate about how that helped him keep his game clean and efficient. Those flip downs were like blackout lenses, and he could look into the sun and see a pop up. He said, those Oakleys those guys wear now, they don't do that. He said, half the time they got them on top of their head anyway. They're not wearing them at all. He said, they're costing their team runs when they don't catch those pop ups. He said that was really important to me to be able to always get to those, and that's why he wanted them on there. And it was him who pointed out the gold label on his mitt, his glove. I had no idea. I did not know that Rawlings did this. They would get that trophy, the Gold Glove trophy, which is that laminated gold glove award. but they put a Rawlings label on there that instead of the red label with the white writing on it, it's a gold label, a shiny gold label with red writing that they put on it for the player who has won the award. And he wore, and then he would wear it for the entirety of the following season. So he won the Gold Glove for 1983, and then in 1984 he wore his first Gold Glove. So he hung on to these things. I had them in his personal collection, and he not only showed the thing to me, he just handed it to me, and he said, "Well, here, why don't you hang on to it so you can look at it until it was done?" And I got startled. I was like, I would be more comfortable if you sent one of your grandkids home with me for the next 3 months. Okay, this is too much responsibility. A human life, no big deal, but this is too much. And I worked on that part of the sculpture separately for a long time. I actually had the glove in my house on a special table, and then I attached it to the sculpture later as I was working on it. And I made sure that if you didn't notice, go and look at it. You will see that label on there is gold. And another thing he wanted on there is, if you look at his jersey closely, where the sleeve ends, you'll see the tattered edge of an undershirt. And that was him. He said what they would do was they would be issued one of those old baseballs T-shirts, they would call them, that had they'd come down about 3/4 or
3/4 sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the weather would warm up, he said, I'd just take scissors and cut them off. So I had just a T-shirt underneath, because the double knit jerseys were pretty scratchy in those days. And he wanted that to show. So what you're looking at is all his input. He was very hands-on. Very, sometimes we do these things and they don't even remember anything, or the organization won't let the player be involved. Like Ernie Banks was not involved at all. I met Ernie Banks the day of the unveiling. Billy Williams invited me to his home, and I sat in his dining room, and he was telling me stories of him and Ron Santo playing for Rogers Hornsby in the minors. He might as well have been telling me he was playing for Abraham Lincoln. When he said Rogers Hornsby, I was just, that was such a historical figure. And here's Billy Williams was my first favorite player when I was a kid, a little bitty kid, first going to ball games. Billy was my guy, and there I was sitting there, and he was showing me his basement with his cool stuff in it, and telling me his different stories. And Santo wasn't in the Hall of Fame yet, and he was advocating for him. And he said, I was playing right behind him. There were a lot of balls that were headed my way. I thought I was going to have to chase down, and Ron would snag him before they'd ever get there. He said, I had a clear view of his entire career, and absolutely he belonged in the Hall of Fame. So hearing it in that context was quite special. As I certainly watched him play as well. I didn't get to spend time with Ron. He had passed away. The original plan was to do both of those sculptures together. And they thought, we don't want either of them to feel like they were short-shrifted. Billy was first, let's do Billy first, and then next year we'll do Ron Santo. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, that makes sense. And tragically then, after that season, Ron Santo passed away. So apparently he knew about it. They told him they were going to do it. But he wasn't obviously able to be there. So that was a very bittersweet event, because he would have appreciated it more than anybody would appreciate something like that.
His story has one of the saddest endings, just in general. He was the most fun-loving guy, the biggest Cubs fan, all of this, and then all the accolades, all the remembrances, the World Series, like everything that this guy wanted, he got, but he didn't get it until he was gone.
Yeah.
And
He didn't get it. Yeah.
It's just such a sad thing that the statue came
Thanks
later.
for bringing us down.
The Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame came later. You know, the World
was
Series.
terrible, and everybody should feel awful.
It was.
Hey,
I can't help it.
well, I think
I loved Ron. I love Ron Santo, and I always. It still drives me nuts that it worked out that way.
Oh, I'll give you a little up note on Ron Santo. Several years earlier, I was commissioned by a company out east that did figurines to sculpt a little 8-inch figure of Ron Santo that he was involved with. He autographed I don't know, a couple of hundred little cards that they attached to the figurine. So they had me go into Wrigley Field and meet with him so he could sign off on it and talk about it. So I was able to visit with them, and I used to always hear them talk about on the broadcast. They said, "Folks, whatever you're hearing from Ron on this broadcast, don't think for a second that that this is an act. If you meet him on the street, that's what you're going to get." And sure enough, it was the first. There were 2 meetings, and the first one was the day after Kerry Wood made his comeback after his injury, and I said, "Boy, it sounded awfully exciting last night listening to you guys with Kerry Wood." And he said, "Oh boy, you got a guy back on a team. He can just electrify a group. I'm telling you, they're gonna really start something here. They're really gonna get going." And you saw the spark, right? I mean, you must have been. You said you were. Oh yeah, I was. and I just got him all fired up. And then I came back with a finished product for him to look at and make sure he liked it. And he was funny. He's studying it. He goes, "Yeah, that's it. That's the home run swing." And then he just kind of looks at me almost sheepishly, and he said, "You think it'd be possible for me to get one of these?" I said, "I know a guy. Yeah."
I think we might be able to manage
we'll
it.
get you one. So it was fun. It was really fun to work with them on that. So that was a real happy, positive side of the Ron Santo experience that I was able to enjoy.
And I mentioned there is that pedestal that's still there. I mean, everybody's always wondering who's going to be there. And you and I were talking the other night, and thought maybe Andre Dawson, who was at this event with us, would be a pretty good candidate.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be great.
Yes.
I mean, I know he went into the hall as an expo. I know there's politics when it comes to all this stuff, but
not his choice. Not his choice.
Yeah, I'm sure Andre would take a statue, and the fans would love it. There are no expos anymore. I don't know if that's
exactly. Come on.
Seems like it should matter. I was going back and forth with our friend Crawley, who, by the way, if I do want to ask you, how much would it cost to get a statue of Crawley like this? Like, could I get a statue of Crawley with his shirt off, just celebrating a Cubs victory?
I want to know what it's going to cost to unsee that.
No, nobody's
I'll
gonna
pay extra to your dad to see it. You got to get the nipples just right.
I was gonna say nobody's gonna give you the same Rhino criticism. Why is he so jacked? They're not gonna be.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got off that topic. Let me just go back to that real quick. So the day of the when everybody came to the studio to approve it. So that was Tom Ricketts, Crane Kenny, I forget who else, but Ryan and Margaret were all there, and the subject of his biceps, forearms, came up, and we had an enlargement of him standing there, and I had calipers, to measure stuff, and the sculpture and the poster were 1-to-1, so the sizing was all the same. And I said, first of all, I can change anything you want to change. That at this stage, that's not a problem. But let me just show you. And I gave the measurements, and I said, and just take a look at the definition of Ryan's muscles in these pictures. And they were studying it, and they said, well, yeah, I mean, it's there, and the measurements were the same. And I said, Ryan, it's, whatever you want. I mean, if you'd like me to slim you down, or just soften the definition. He said, "Of course I will." There was that old story of John Kruk saying he wasn't a athlete, he was a baseball player, in spite of what John Kruk likes to say, you guys are athletes and you're in excellent physical conditions, but it's your call. And Ryan said, no, I think this is right the way it is. Leave it as, this is it. He said I would be tense and flexed and everything, and there it is in the photo. So that was it. He said leave it. So that's what the story is there. But it measures out right. That is what he looked like.
I remember him looking jacked, especially back in '84 and when he was young in those years. He probably got thinner later on, maybe a little bit when he grew that mustache.
Yeah,
the mustache.
I think people don't realize, right, unless they saw him up close, like in real life. If you watch him on TV, like go back and watch those old TV. There's no way on TV you can see the definition of Ryan Sandberg's muscles, which if it were today, we see those guys and a lot of times they think, oh, they're in such better shape and they're so much more jacked, all this stuff. No. They were back then. We just couldn't see it because our TVs weren't very good.
Yeah, when you went to the ballpark and if you were able to sit close enough to Andre Dawson, for example, I mean, you saw what the guy was built like. This was this was a seriously cut man.
Well, Andre Dawson is still jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. Did you get a picture with him at the
I did get a picture with Andre the other night. I was so excited. Let's see if I can't bring it in.
He's huge.
I think Andre carries gravestones, one in each arm. Just carries them out.
That's right. Yeah.
And he digs all the holes himself. He's just a massive man.
Here's me and Andre the other night, and we're wearing suits because it was a banquet.
Yeah. That was a really fun night, and he was just a total gentleman to everybody there, signing autographs and taking pictures and everything.
I got a baseball card signed by him. I was so excited. I told him the same thing everybody tells him. You were my favorite when I was.
I said it in the speech. You heard me going on about him. I wouldn't miss a pitch when he came there. I couldn't have been any more of a Chicago meatball. I was, I was right there with you.
Well, and before I derail this,
pedestal would be. I get asked that a lot, and they have no plan right now. I would like to, if I had my way, I would think one day they will do something of Pat Hughes, but I would like to see something done a little differently with him. I did one for the Seattle Mariners of one of their broadcasters who passed away. And what they did was they had me sculpt him at ground level, sitting at a desk, doing play-by-play with an empty chair next to him, so fans could sit with Dave Niehaus and take a picture with that sculpture. And I would love to do that with Pat Hughes, something along those lines.
You got to have something where you're like, Pat Hughes is wearing a black sport coat with white dress shirt, blue tie, gray trousers, and black socks and shoes. It's got to be written in there like what he's wearing. Somehow.
One of those sweaters, right?
Yeah. One of those lame dad sweaters.
I kind of feel like that last pedestal really should be reserved for a ball player. It is. They are all ball players up there. So whether it would be Andre Dawson or Lee Smith or perhaps one of the 2016 guys, I don't know. That wouldn't be made by me, that decision, but I would certainly be thrilled to do any of them. I'm sure you guys heard about this 2016
the arch
monument that they're going to do for this summer, and that is not going to be a figurative sculpture. We're not involved in that. That's going to be they want to cover something that pays tribute to the entire team, so they're handling it much differently, and it's cool. I'm glad they're doing something, but that's not what's going to go on that pedestal. Obviously, we're not doing anything there.
Well, I personally think it should be Dawson. I mean, he's MVP on a last place team. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's that's just
It's hard to do.
It's one of the most amazing things that could ever be. He hit 49 homers that year. He played an amazing right field. Like that's
That arm.
Arm.
He deserves it. He really does. With all the guys, I mean, obviously, all the guys that have had their statues done, 100% deserve it. And maybe there are a few more that do deserve it after Dawson. But I feel like Dawson, you can't go wrong with throwing him up there.
Yeah, for our generation, it was Sandberg and Dawson. Even though his best years were with the Expos, but you know he gave Cub fans something to cheer about for all those years. You've been so generous with your time tonight. We kept you about double the amount of time that I said I was gonna. That is typical of us. But
I talk a lot.
Oh no, we all do. That's
love
our
it.
issue. Yeah, do you want to start a podcast, Lou? Because we can do one tomorrow if you want. We can talk all about sculpting. Because I actually do have so many more questions to ask you. I mean, I feel like
I'll come back.
we
You
could
tell me
definitely do
when.
this again. But my next question for you is: do you think I have any talent at all? I made this in 1983, the year I became a Cubs fan. It is a turtle. Hopefully, you could tell it's a turtle. I made this. I killed this.
Yeah, that I'll tell you why that does give you credibility is because the first time I sculpted anything that got cast in bronze was at Hersey High School. It was a turtle.
Oh, you two are living parallel lives.
You have the other half of this locket, Lou? Oh God, you're my long lost twin brother.
With God as my witness, it was a little smaller than that, but it was and they cast it in bronze in the art department there. But it was a little turtle. Yeah.
This was pre-Hersey. This was 83. This was somewhere in Lake Zurich. So Michael's got one to show you.
Yeah.
Too, I think.
So
What do you think?
my oldest son Eli, who is part of this show when he has time and he's not in school, he made this. I believe this is some sort of like an elephant thing, but it's also got a horn.
All right. Oh, okay. All right.
What's it made of?
I gotcha.
Is
it a ceramic?
It's ceramic, but here's the best part.
It's a flute.
Okay, so should I tell Eli that he needs to stop studying meteorology and go into sculpting, or stick with meteorology?
Oh, geez. If you want to make money, I don't know what to tell you.
You've been successful, but there's only the one job, making Cub sculptures. And now you're the guy, and then you got this job for the foreseeable future.
And people that sometimes ask me this is, so do you have any retirement plans? And I said, yeah, feet first. I've been doing something I love for a long time, and my two favorite things are sculpting and baseball. So I see an opportunity to sculpt a baseball player. Cubs first, of course, but boy, I'll move heaven and earth to sculpt any of them. And by the way, this spring you'll be able to see Ichiro Suzuki, another one I'm doing for the Mariners. So
that's a nice one. I went to the Mariners field this year. It's outside of Wrigley and Fenway. It's probably my very favorite park I've been to. T-Mobile out there in Seattle is wonderful.
I think it's great, the different personalities that those places have. They go with the town, and the fans just give it their own flavor. And I love going to games there. I truly do. They've got. I was certainly pulling for the Blue Jays in the World Series, but I was pulling for the Mariners in the ALCS. I really broke my heart when they didn't get there, because they're the only team left that has never been to a World Series. They're like, did you realize that those two teams are going to be 50 years old? This is their 50th anniversary this year. I still think of them as expansion teams. No, 50 years, that's not expansion. That's
Even the Nationals have been around for a couple decades, right, at this point?
Is that right? When
did they start?
2004, I think, was their first season.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
4 or 5, one of those.
Yeah, we got sculptures there, but I was just an assistant on those. Those don't have my signature on them.
Well,
But
I love your
yeah.
work, and it's great hearing you. It's so interesting to hear you talk about, some of the details, especially for the Cubs. And even though you do other teams, we're so lucky that you are an actual fan of the Chicago Cubs. Thus, you could feel a little bit more of the, art needs some soul, art needs love, art needs that feeling to it, and that is in those Cub sculptures. It's palpable when I walk by them, and I'm like always, happy to go down and I meet people by there, stand by them, looked at them all season long, and it's just like,
Well, you remember me talking about the other night the romance of the game. I mean, when Brad Pitt made that comment in Moneyball, it's real. There's nothing that has the romance of baseball. How can you not be romantic about it? And those, I love what those sculptures do. That they attract those fans that bring out those memories and share those stories. And one of the things that they have taken out of the baseball experience was that it just seems like between every hitter, they look for a reason to make a lot of racket in the ballpark.
Yes.
yes,
And what I marveled at from the first game, I remember this, was how when my dad and I sat down, I mean, that whole experience, the first time you go there, everything is gray and cold looking and everything. And then you come up, through the tunnel and you're just hitting the face with this splash of green and this blue sky and these players on the field. They're dressed in red, white, and blue. And then if it's Cincinnati, it would feel like bright gray, if that's possible. These gray and red uniforms on the other side, and it's just miraculous. And then you sit down, and as the game's going on, my dad is talking to total strangers,
Yeah.
like they're fraternity brothers or something. And this would happen every game. There was this common unity there. What religion you are, what your politics, and nothing. It doesn't matter. We're here watching baseball. We have something that's connecting us, and with all of that noise that they inject into the ballpark now, it's very difficult to do. So I feel like part of the romance is being sucked out of the baseball game experience when you go to these places. I get it, money, right? But it was
how
just
much
always
money
something I love.
could you possibly be making with all that racket?
I don't
Buy this
know.
insurance, eat that candy bar. Like, I mean,
Yeah, what
is it
cap
really
is the
worth it?
baseball under? I don't know. Why does it have to be so loud?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're
I
right.
don't know.
I was
I'm
talking
with
about
you.
the Dixieland band, the loss
Yeah.
of that, where
Oh,
we
right.
can't
The
hear the
Ted
Dixie.
Butterman Quintet. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're gone, and because they started blasting ads over them, and there's no way you can compete with a unmicrophoned banjo. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they were
love seeing those
fun.
guys.
They
yeah,
were so much fun. So yeah, so all of that kind of talk that when I do hear that outside of the park, and when Ryan passed away, it was a much more somber attitude. And I went there immediately that morning after we got that news and just put a flower up there. Um, of all of those guys, as wonderful as they all were, it was just the people in our studio just developed a connection to Ryan more so. Uh, the way they would come and visit us multiple times, and Margaret bringing the grandkids in there, it was he. I mean, he literally was a neighbor. They lived just a few miles from our studio, and we are approaching January 31st, and that is significant to me because on January 31st of last year, Ryan called me at work, and he said, "Hey, I was wondering if you would have a time sometime to come by the house." He said, "I got something I'd like you to see." And I said, "I'm not doing anything this afternoon, Ryan." And he said, "Oh, great." And so told me where to go, and I drove over there, and he must welcomed me at the door. And I had made a miniature of the Sandberg sculpture. And he was given a copy of it, of course, and he wanted me to see where he was putting it in the house. And his basement was all decorated with memorabilia from his entire career. And he poured me a glass of Knob Creek rye whiskey that they had put out a special line of it called Rhino's Rye. And
Wow.
and it's not obvious, but it's on there. Now, I don't know how much access you guys got to the Binny's the Binny's liquor store in it's in Highland Park or Northbrook, right off of Expressway.
Yeah, I've
They
been up
still
there right off 94. Yeah, I've been at that one.
they still have some there.
Oh,
And there's and it's like $60.
Not
And
after this show.
well, I wondered why it lasted so long, because I still go in there occasionally and will just buy another bottle. But he pours me a glass of this stuff, and there was several of them. There was Rhino's MVP, there was Rhino's Silver Slugger, Hall of Fame, and there was Margaret's Choice, and Gold Glove was the other one. And so he pours a big old ice cube in the glass, and he pours me some of this, and then he says, "Come on, we'll go down there and I'll show you this stuff." So he shows me where he puts this. The little figure, but he's showing me, he's got his gold gloves and photographs from the All-Star game at Wrigley Field and a whole collection of bats and different jerseys and everything else. His most valuable player award, which had a wonderful story behind it. He talked about the banquet for that, where it was all of anybody who has ever won an MVP award was invited to this event. And he gave a little speech, and when he was standing there holding it, just kind of numb from the whole experience, and somebody says, he goes, "Here, come here, son. Let me take a look at that." And it's Joe DiMaggio.
Oh.
Yeah, the Yankee Clipper himself. He said, "Let me take a look at that." And so Ryan, of course, hands it right over to Jolton Joe, and he said to me, "Yeah," and Joe is holding it and studying it. And he said, yeah, this is exactly what mine looks like. He said, "Congratulations." He said, "I'm sure this is the first of many for you. Good luck." And he said, and when I took it back from him, I held it on the sides. He said, on the back of that award still has Joe DiMaggio's fingerprints.
oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
I really have.
At which point you put it down real quick and said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Quit hugging it, Lou.
Quit hugging it.
Well, and here was another thing he had there that maybe you guys knew this. I did not know this, but he had a copy of his Hall of Fame plaque. They give them copies. But he told me that he said and the thing is, when I die, this duplicate has to go back to the Hall of Fame.
What?
And I said, huh? And he said, yeah, it's just a rule they have. It goes back. And why on earth would they do that? Why would they ever give you? Why would
Where do
they
they
give you the
keep
duplicate?
it? Just because the other one falls off the wall, then they got the backup? Like,
Do they not want the family selling them or something?
it's kind of like the 2016 rings. They said, if you can't sell this stuff, we're going to make 2016, and and we're not supposed to sell them. But I'm like, well, if you fall on hard times, that'd be the first thing I'd sell, is the thing that's worth money.
Yeah, well, and really, it's your property. Come on, I mean, what are they going to do about it? But it just seems criminal to me to now. Here's Margaret's family that's grieving, having lost the special
Ding
person
dong.
in their lives. Yeah,
We're here for the plaque.
exactly.
Come on in, boys. Come get it. We're
It's really
sitting Cuba.
cruel.
Yeah.
So, I got here. Hang on a
That-
second.
that's-
You got a second? Can I show you something?
Please,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Danny, that's our new pitch. We're going to pitch this probably to Fox, and it's going to be Hall of Fame cops. And it's going to be me and you, and we're just going to go as soon as a player dies. We'll do a big special. We'll talk about the player, and at the end, it'll build up to you and me banging on somebody's door and like forcing
plaque.
our way in and taking back the plaque.
All right. So I don't know how well you can see this.
Pretty well, Knob Creek.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Ryan gave me a bottle, and I was all excited because I thought, oh, great, I'm going to go home and guzzle this stuff. I'm trying to get this to focus. Can you see it? Rhino's
Hall of Fame, yeah.
Hall of Fame. So it's numbered
115, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
115 proof, 318, 2024.
115 proof.
And now, but then look at what he did. He signed
To
it.
Lou, thanks, and then his sign it for his number 2.
Oh yeah, so you
yeah.
could never drink that.
Exactly. So I had to go right to Benny's and buy another one that and I've been drinking it. Keep in mind, yeah, I buy every now and then I pick up another bottle of it and I drink them. So I save the empties, but they're still there. You can go there and get them. They're still there, and it's really cool. That they still have them because I'm sure they're not going to for terribly long. I think what was going on was, you remember Frank Thomas had that line of vodka that they were promoting. I think the whole idea was they were going to have Ryan promoting the Knob Creek stuff, but then he, became ill and it never.
Andre Dawson had a whiskey that I tasted too. Like I think it's just kind of one of those things. Hey, slap your name on this thing and make a bunch of money. But Knob Creek was already a known brand. I think the Andres was his own something else. I forget. Anyhow, I'll try to find a bottle of it for you, Lou, for coming on the show. If I can find some Andre Dawson whiskey, I'll hook you up with it.
I'll drink it.
Well, once again, you've been so freaking generous with your time, and we will have to do it again because I'm sure you've got more stories to share, I'm sure. And I'd love to talk to you more about just growing up a Cubs fan and sculpting and your advice to young artists. There's so much more to talk about, but we should do it some other time because we still have half a script to get through.
Yeah. Lou, you have been an amazing guest. You've been an amazing guest.
The best, I would say.
Yeah, trust me. Interviews don't go this well all the time.
I'm happy to do it, guys. Talking baseball and talking the sculptures is what I'm probably best at. And look, if you want to come out to Highwood and see the place sometime, I show people around. Ask Crawley. I mean, he's been there multiple times. Stu has, and everybody else. So you're both welcome. I'd be happy to show you around, and you can see how the sausage is made. All the stuff that we grind through to get those things together. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot to see. You get a better idea of how they're put together.
That would be amazing. I did drop the link earlier in the chat to the website that.
Oh, for the Rob Riney studio.
Yes, the Rob Riney. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, that's it.
Riney.
Ronnie.
I put that in the chat. If people just want to go and look at the sculptures, but then it would have information about the actual studio and stuff if people want to check it out.
Yeah, but please, I'm serious. Yeah, you can come see it. If you got little kids you want to bring them because we always like to promote art for kids. It's a good time. And as I said, I am the unicorn that likes both teams, so you can bring Sox fans too. There's been plenty of those made there.
Ooh, Danny,
we don't have any Sox fan friends.
Maybe. Oh, but maybe we figure out something with Lost Boys.
Oh yeah, no, that would be cool to have.
That would be really cool. Take some kids from Lost Boys over there.
That would be cool. Well, we will talk about it, and we will definitely be in touch, and we'll do this again soon. But thanks for being here tonight, Lou, and. Terry says probably the best gift ever. Sorry, Steve Trout fans. We had Steve Trout on one time, and he was just trying to sell that pillow mitt of his. It was really a disaster. Somebody was asking him where he was January 6th. It was all embarrassing.
God.
We had a rough time, but we had a good time. But it was a rough time. So, well, thanks for being here, Lou, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay, stay warm, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lou. Oh man, that was great.
Yeah, and I love the concept of art and baseball because poetry, music, And now sculpture, we've explored all these things, in our own lives, but also they are such a part of baseball and like the mythology of baseball. It all works together. But do we have a silhouette?
Oh, you know we do. I am always prepared.
Got to come back and talk about Cubs convention because there's so much to share.
Okay, so we've got a silhouette, but like we started doing last week, there is a trivia element to this so that if you can't actually see what the silhouette looks like, you might be able to figure out who this is by the time we come back. So I'll do that, and then I'll pop up I'll do it together. Here is the silhouette. And the trivia on this is he played in Chicago his entire career, but he did not retire a Cub. So that's the trivia bit of it for the listeners. And for the people who are viewing, take a look, see if you can figure out who this is. It is a silhouette of in a batting stance.
Okay. Guesses in the chat, hashtag chance in the chat, and we'll be right back on the Son Ranto Show.
The Bleacher Bunch brings you great shows like Son Ranto, Cubs PS Plus, Bricks Behind the Ivy, Cuppa Cubby Blue, and Baseball Rabbit Hole. But you could be getting so much more when you subscribe to our Patreon page for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Get access to our exclusive daily show Cubs Pod, where we recap every single game. Plus, be the first to hear Cubs music, get early access to events, and receive an invitation to join our Discord Cubs community, where fans just like you show up every day to rant and rave about our beloved boys in blue. Most importantly, 10% of your Patreon pledge will go directly to help the Lost Boys Youth Baseball program. So join us. There are perks at every level, like the Renter Calendar, absolutely free, and name recognition for you or your business. We are independent Cubs podcasters, and we need your support. Otherwise, we'll quit. Seriously, we'll all quit. Some of us might even die from your lack of support. In fact, the cutest little puppy you've ever seen will die if you don't support the Bleacher Bunch at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. We promise to spend all the Patreon money on tickets and beer and all the dog crap we have to buy just to keep our podcast rolling. So give us your money, and we'll waste it far better than you will. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Free trials are available, but don't do a free trial. Just join, okay? Okay. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch.
In the clutch, in the clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Take it from the Bleacher Bunch. You'll love the shirts from In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts are comfortable, stylish, and guaranteed to get you laid. Plus, they're proud sponsors of the Bleacher Bunch. Use promo code BleacherBunch for 10% off your purchase.
Nice to feel and soft to touch. That's why you will get laid so much. Wearing a shirt from In the Clutch. And you can thank the Bleacher Bunch. In the Clutch, in the Clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Remember the code Bleacher Bunch. Save 10% at In the Clutch. In the Clutch. In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts actually not really guaranteed to get you laid.
All right, who's that damned cubby?
All right, looks like we have a few guesses in here. Terry E was the first in the chat with the correct answer. It is... Oh, where is the media assets? It is Ron Santo.
Ah, all right. Ronnie.
Yeah. Some people don't realize. So Ron Santo, everybody just assumes was always a Cub, and he would have preferred that. But he was with the Cubs his entire career until the last year of his career.
3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, they traded... the Cubs traded Santo and got Steve Stone.
Oh,
they used to always talk about that it was the trade that both teams lost. But yeah, right. So Ronnie went over there and finished out his career on the South Side. It's actually, again, I hate to bring it down again, but so sad. Every bit of his life, it's just like the last minute. They're just like, yeah, let's just kick old Ronnie right in the nuts.
That's why I was making AI videos of Cubes fan today, trying to animate him, and that's why this is the first animated Cubes fan video with AI text to speech. Check this out.
The Cubs pretty much have sucked the life out of me my entire life.
That's the first. That's the first. We want to see it again.
The Cubs pretty much have sucked the life out of me my entire life.
Look at this asshole. Like AI, training AI on my fucking art. What the? This is fucked up. You can't do that shit.
Just wait till I take Lucella statues and make them come to life and be my unholy Cubs army.
God
Just
damn
wait.
The worst part about that is that it's kind of awesome. So
kind of
fuck you
awesome.
for
And now you wanna
stealing
make-
my art for your AI bullshit.
I stole it even more, and I made a fat Cubes fan. Well, I made him fat. I don't know why, but I made a whole video. Check out this video to join our Patreon.
Hi, this is Cubes fan. I don't know what I would do without the Son Ranto show. Where else could I turn when I want to rag on the Chicago Cubs? That's why I subscribe at patreon.com/bleacherbunch. I mean, I pay enough assholes in my life, might as well give those guys money too. And so should you.
That is amazing. I actually have a fat Cubes fan picture. And while we're going on, I'll see if I can find it and I'll throw it in there and show it before the end of the show. But I do have a fat Cubes fan. I've made a bunch of Cubes fans, but they're just not the best way to like share it all the time. So
Well, send them to me. I'll make videos.
I will.
And just wait till and stay tuned for the new Cubstradamus later in the show, because that's coming. And I did mention Danny Rocket's wish list. Here it is.
Want to back your favorite independent Cubs podcaster? Check out Danny Rocket's wish list. Grab something from Amazon for Danny and the Mom Shrine and keep the microphones hot all season long.
And I just shared the link to that. My
Look,
wish
people, when you don't subscribe on Patreon, you just get weirder and weirder shit from us.
list. Yeah. I'm looking for some Eucerin body lotion, some St. Patrick's Day lights for the Mom Shrine, cat food, as I mentioned, batteries for the Mom Shrine. You go buy those for me, and pay us here at the Bleacher Bunch to keep the shrine going.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, $500 on that shrine so far, by the way, at least.
I found the fat Cubes fan that I drew.
Oh, bring it up. Oh, I like him.
There it is. That's the fat Cubes fan. Got his belly's kind of hanging out over. That's clearly barbecue sauce.
That's Chubbs fan.
Chubbs fan. I like it. But yeah, that's my fat Cubes fan that I drew a long time ago. And
Chicago Chubbs.
Yeah.
All right. We should actually collaborate on some AI Cubes fan cartoons throughout the year.
We really should. I'm down. I hadn't thought about doing that at all. But I mean, now that you've already fucking handed them my art on a platter, I may as well jump in and make that art.
Exactly a platter.
sing.
It's more like a McDonald's fast food tray. Yes.
It was a styrofoam container with some barbecue ribs,
you can
like on this
blame me
guy's
if-
face.
You can blame me if this ends up in like some Russian perfume ad or something. It was my fault. Well, I want to welcome to the show the Cubs PS Plus Meister. I just saw him last weekend. It's Mike Waller.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Welcome back
Good.
to wherever you live.
Charlotte.
I know you live in Charlotte, but you have a new apartment and everything, and
I do.
new background a different background than before.
Yeah, there'll be another one too. I've got an office. I've got like a third room that's like a extra bedroom and game room. It's going to be my office, but I'm not quite set up yet.
Nice.
Are
But,
you do you have all your energy back? Because I was pretty wiped after a Cubs convention.
Yeah, because especially we went to Cubs convention, and then I took my boys to. You met Sam for the first time. You'd met Andrew before. We went to the Bears game and just froze our balls off for 4 hours.
Not a great ending to that one, but still a great.
No, but we
game.
got to see the play that at the end of regulation that pushed overtime, and that's one of the most.
Oh,
incredible things
that
I've ever seen.
overtime play was amazing. It really was.
And we were set up. We were sitting in the end zone, upper level, basically right in line with where Komet caught the ball. So like we're watching the play, we had this great view of it, and I could see. I was focused on Caleb, and he was running around, went back like 27 yards, and chucked it. And I was like, oh, he's just throwing it up for grabs. And all of a sudden, nope, he saw an open guy in the back of the end zone. I don't know how he does that shit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So we were energized there, but then that was an extra level of tiredness coming back. And as cold as the game was, I think O'Hare was the worst the next day because it was colder. And they kept, they have to open the gates and there's no seal. And like the whole airport was like 12 degrees and I wasn't wearing 4 layers.
God.
Yeah, it was, but it was a hell of a weekend, and that's part of the problem is when you're at the Sheraton. It's like at least me, I'm not staying there, so I've got like all my coat and everything to come down there and hats, and then you're like sitting there in this sweaty ballroom, and then like there's too many people in there.
Sweaty ballroom is just that's 2 words that you don't ever want to hear together.
In
sweaty ballroom.
Or feel, and then they blast air conditioning at you, and then it's cold in the sweaty ballroom, and then you freeze because you were just sweating. Like it's a constant temperature shift. But I'll start here. CubsCon was massively oversold. They sold way too many tickets, in my opinion. That people could not get into opening ceremonies. There were people shut out of bingo. There were people shut out of just about. You're not getting a good seat at most of the events, but it was packed. I guess it's good to feel everybody's vibes. But what was your overall impression of this one versus some of the other ones you've attended?
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I've been to the last 3 now. The first one I came by myself. My goal was to see the session, so I sat in that ballroom the whole time. Met up with you guys, met Rob, and that one was fine. For what it was. Last year I wanted to do more. Last year was all about Andrew, so he was chasing autographs the whole time and had a phenomenal time. This time I brought Sam because he wanted to come. We did have a really good time. We're there. I was coming in hot. Andrew had a final, so I couldn't leave we didn't land till like 6 o'clock. So I was coming in hot from the airport. I missed the opening ceremonies, but got there for Dempster's thing. And my feeling was it was really hard it was harder than usual to do things. You always have to pick. Like you can't do everything. If you're going to go to the autograph sessions, cool. If you want to go to some of the, the announcer session that they always have, or some of the archive exhibit things, then you're going to wind up giving up a seat in the ballroom and miss some of the events, which is fine. We were set to do that. The one autograph we really did go for. Another one that surprised me. So Sam has always been a big Kyle Hendricks guy. That's been his guy. Sam pitched, didn't have a ton of velocity, but was effective. And so he always kind of latched on to Hendricks, and Hendricks didn't do any autograph sessions. Sam had decided that like whenever he was going to sign, like Sam was just going to jump in line early in the day and just, if his whole day was waiting in line for Hendricks' autograph, that's what he was going to do, but didn't get that chance. We took a shot at Zobrist and missed getting in the room by 4 people after sitting in line for a couple hours.
That's terrible. Like you sat in line and then still didn't get in there?
Yeah,
that sucks.
I was talking to some people around us. Zobrist is kind of an extra challenge because one of the reasons we really like him is he's a good dude, and he talks to everybody who comes up. So some people are just signing, and you can just churn a huge amount of people through. And Zobrist doesn't churn as many people because he'll take the selfie, he'll say hi, he'll ask how you're doing, and which is what you want in that interaction, but it just makes it harder to get more people through.
Yeah. And I did a little bit of everything too. I waited in a line for Crawley to get Miguel Montero's.
Oh, I thought you were going to say get Crawley's autograph. And I was like, you shouldn't have waited in that line.
I know. I thought I was waiting for a burrito, but unfortunately it was Crawley. But no, I waited in the line. He needed to get a bunch of stuff needed, quote unquote, to get a bunch of stuff.
Needed,
Yeah,
exactly.
to buy Miguel Montero for his collection. So he's like, you got to get in line an hour and a half early, otherwise it's going to fill up, and it did. But I was second or third in line, and part of the fun is, well, for me, is talking to the other people in the line. Now, you're stuck with me because I yap. I don't really care if you want to talk or not. I will talk your ear off. So
You don't
I had a fine time in those lines. I'm going to get political. I'd say whatever the hell I feel like saying to all these poor people that are stuck listening to me. But it's a good time sitting in the lines. The problem is it's like that is 2 or 3 hours long. Like it would be fine if it was 45 minutes that you wait, but it was 2 hours.
Well, and that was like, so last year, the one thing I voluntarily gave up, and I really don't regret it, because last year was, for me, it was all about giving Andrew kind of a magical CubsCon experience. Was I kind of had, nobody really knew, but like, I don't know how many more chances I was going to get Rhino's autograph in person. And I could have gone to that line, but that would have been being down there in line at like 6:30 in the morning for like a 2:00 signing, because that line was full early. And I decided not to give up a whole day. So I was, it was the Saturday. Andrew wanted to do the Hap show, and we wouldn't have been able to do that because he was doing other autographs. And Andrew wound up getting Sammy's autograph at the Hap show last year. So for me, that was worth giving it up. But like, you just have to make those decisions at CubsCon. And even though it was so crowded, I guess I was lucky because I knew people already there. Like Rob Sanchez was able to save us seats for the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, you can work together.
Yes.
Yeah, Crawley hooked me up a lot. That's the other reason why I sat for him in that line, is because he got me. I was in the front of everything because of Crawley.
Mm-hmm.
And I always am. So I owe that guy my CubsCon experience because I just waltz it at the end.
So like, if you have that, you can still make it. Like I was able to play bingo because Rob got his seats there. I was able to get Rob's seats on Saturday because he was getting he got his mom one of the Matt Caesar paintings of the 2016 celebration, and he got Matt Caesar to sign it. So while he's chasing that down, I'll get you a seat. You say, got me yesterday. So we still had a good
Sanchez,
time.
if people don't know, Robert Sanchez, right? That's
who I thought Robert. Yeah, Robert Sanchez. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who you're talking about. No, I just wanted to let
Yes.
everybody know like who's being awesome.
Yeah, so if you know people there, you meet people there, and maybe find people to work with in the future. But I feel bad for the people that couldn't get in opening ceremonies, couldn't play bingo. I was able to do all those things. Got to sing at Harry Karaoke, which was great. So like we still had a really good time, but it was not quite as good, not quite as smooth as the last couple of years. And I think it's pretty clear that it was certainly sold out. It was definitely a bigger crowd, and I think we're right. I think they oversold it.
Hold on, we got to back up a little bit though. You just kind of cruised right past that you sang at Harry Karaoke. What did you sing?
I sang Brown Eyed Girl, and I closed it out Friday night.
You closed it out? You were the last one?
I was.
Oh,
well, they bring in like
Brown-Eyed
Miguel
Girl.
comes in and it actually formally closes it, but I was the last lay person to sing.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
2 years, my first Cubs convention, I sang Dream On, so I love it. And I signed up for one last year, but I was.
You've got a great voice. You don't think you do, but you really do.
Thank you.
You have a
Really?
better than
I don't
average
know this
voice.
because
You
Waller.
don't go to CubsCon. That's where I sang.
Yeah.
Well,
You
and
should
you
come
don't do
to that.
the
Michael would
Christmas.
hate Cubs convention.
You don't do the
He
Christmas
just
carols.
complained the whole time. Look at
Well,
all
I'm-
these lines.
I'm hoping this year maybe I
sweating
can-
a lot.
I'm hoping this year maybe I
I've
can
only
do-
been to one. I've been to a Bears convention, and I've been to a Cubs convention. And the Bears convention was better because there's actually way less people there at the time. And then, but yeah, a lot of people. And I mean, it's okay, but being in crowds is not always my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was
not
great
the
to
best,
see everybody. I mean, and like, here's the picture. I'm going to put up a picture of this was Friday night down at Lizzie McNeil's. You got just a really great crew of all these Cup fans. Rob in the back there, Bleacher Jeff and Sarah and Chad and Mike Presnowski. He's been on this show as well. I don't know if you guys know Nicole and Lonnie. I just see if I could. I don't know the guy in the back. That's your friend, isn't it?
Rob's friend, Vinny.
Vinny, right. So it's just a great crew, and here's also got to hang out with Miguel, like you mentioned, and there's Jeremiah's running the show there. There's Chad and John and Jorge Moreno, and we're just down in the lobby, and that's kind of what I spend my time doing. Is like I just love sitting around in the lobby and just letting people come to me, hey Danny, and talking for a bit, and that's the best time because the players are kind of boring to hear talk. You're not going to get
100%.
You're not going to get. I was just sitting there, and I'm like, why is this fun? Like it's way more fun to be in the hall, because everything that's the 3 interesting things that happen in the hour-long session get tweeted about immediately, and then I guess
yeah, it's agreed. The players are never all that exciting. But like you said, there's always 1 or 2 things, but you don't get very often. You don't get the Wilson Contreras just throw the ball, motherfucker, or whatever that was. Like that's rare. And the reason they're so amazing is because they're so rare.
St. Louis is boring comes from that.
Yeah.
What did we have this year? We had Ben Brown doing burpees. I don't know if you saw that. Like there he is doing burpees.
That doesn't meme very well.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I went to the Clark was a little unhinged. I thought this was funny that he put this up during the kids press conference. He has this sign that he writes because Clark can't talk. It just says "Release the Epstein Files, FDT." So
I love that Clark has chosen a side and it's the correct way.
Yeah, well, he's working for some fascists, so he's got to get out there the way he can. And Clark also, when he was asked who his in his fuck, marry, kill, who his kill was, it's Bertie the Brewer, and he put that on his side, on his sign as well. But yeah, I mean, there was fun things like that. But did you hear anything in any of those sessions where there was no real? Nobody said anything.
What got you excited that you heard from a player or an executive or whatever? I
think most of the excitement part usually comes. I always joke that like the Cubs are never more back than the first 10 minutes of opening ceremonies, and I missed that. So I didn't get that. It was I enjoyed the Hap show. That's always good. The compound. I saw the pitchers thing. I stayed in there all day because I was going to stay for the Rhino Memorial or the Rhino Remembrance, but then I wound up going with my kids and going to see try to get Zobrist's signature. But for me, I just enjoyed the stories from 2016. It was fun to hear them talk and go back and forth, and like talking about John Lackey on pitch day and Lester, and just hearing them reminisce about it was cool. Which I think was. I mean, that's obviously why this one was so big. All those guys were coming back, and they got a good crowd back.
Yeah.
But is there anything earth shaking? No. I mean, I listened to children ask 400 different ways. How did it feel to win?
Oh my God.
Which is a little painful, but like, I don't know, the kids are getting up there and getting to talk to those guys. So cool.
Right.
I think maybe half of them were actually alive when the Cubs won, but.
Yeah, I was going to say the kid is the fun part of that interaction, not the player in that moment. And I don't really give a shit about anybody else's kids.
Look at this unhinged photo I took. Well, first of all, Travis Wood was in a rare form. Actually,
oh my God!
I mean, he could not have been more Travis Wood than that walking out in that outfit.
Is this a real photo?
Well, here's Travis Wood walking out. He walked out. And he's got like the duck hunting vest on and no shirt, and Pedro Stropes behind, like laughing. It was great to see all those guys. I will say. So I can't believe it's 10 years. That was kind of throwing me for a loop as well. That it's already been a decade of time. You don't get a lot of those in a regular lifespan. And a whole one has passed, and there's Travis Wood still looking good without a shirt. And then there he is sitting next to John Lackey, who's looking like he's about to eat a child.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's flashing those white choppers.
Oh man, God, it was getting blinded by those things sitting in the front, and then I don't know what Kyle Hendricks is doing. It looks like
He's
Guy
just like
Smiley.
photobombing that thing.
He's photobombing the thing. It's a great shot, though. I love it.
He's excited that Lackey's going to eat that kid.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'll lick the bones, John. But it was so. Well, the 2016 thing was happening when you went to that.
I did, yeah.
And at the same time, they had Miguel up against with the Spanish language. It was like a Spanish language forum with Aramis Ramirez, Big Z, and Jonathan Moda and Juan Cabreja, and the last two are coaches. And nobody was in there because everybody was at the 2016 thing. What are you putting up here, Michael? Travis Wood, and David Ross separated at birth. I mean, David Ross has hair now somehow. He got the transplants. Pretty.
Oh no,
that was
really?
fun when he was in that panel and he was ribbing Lester for not having hair.
But
my God.
I was at this thing, the Spanish language. Luckily, I could understand most of what they were talking about. With Miguel did a great job, and there was only about 30 of us in this room, so it was nice. You could hear everything was great, and because everybody was at 2016 at the exact same time, so I missed 2016, and these guys were down here. And I couldn't believe it, but somebody asked Big Z, like, what his opinion of what was going on in Venezuela. I'm like, first of all, well, he was interesting because he goes, first of all, I came here to talk about baseball, not about politics. He goes, second of all, I live in Venezuela. And he was very clear. Like, what, do you want me to fucking get a bullet to the back of my head because of you?
Right.
Because I gave my opinion. Everybody's like the next day in the papers. Oh, Big Z said this. No. He's no dummy. So
right.
He can't do anything about it anyway.
Right.
But
that's an amazing response, though. That's that kind of says everything that you might actually need to know.
You just had to emphasize it a little bit, but the other thing that I found was interesting and related was that they talked about how tough it was to be a player in the United States from a foreign country because of visa issues and not being able to see the people in your family for extended periods of time, and they're your support system your entire life, and you're just a young man, and now you can't bring your mom here because she'll get picked up by stupid ICE.
Yep.
So it's harder than ever now.
And one of the sessions I did find the pitchers one, I really was only there because it was my kids wanted to see see the compound, and then I wanted to be there for the 2016 reunion, so I just kept the seats and stayed. But the pitching session was good, and it reminded me of another story I was trying to think of earlier. But to your point, Edward Cabrera they were asking him questions. His family's never seen him pitch here.
Wow.
Came up and his family hasn't come, he didn't get in details. I don't know if they can't get in or what they certainly wouldn't come now. But I found that interesting. And then one of the kids asked a really good question, have you ever hit a player on purpose? And most of the guys did a pretty good job of not really doing the song and dance. I would never do that. It was always kind of and then they'd kind of hedge it. And Edward Cabrera won the crowd over because he hit a cardinal in AA. He was just sick of the guy and drilled him.
They probably told him that. It's like, if you're new here, but get everybody on your side. All you got to do is say you plugged a cardinal in the ribs. Albert, extra points if it was anything related to Albert Pujols. It was. I'm just looking at my notes here. Addison Russell was there. That kind of was disappointing. I mean, he was part of the team. There's nothing you can really do about that, but for him to be invited to this,
he was a fairly important part too. It's not,
really important, but I thought this is just a moment in time, but I love how awkward Benzo looks in this photo sitting next to Addison, who's looking the other way.
Benzo looks awkward because of that haircut before anything else.
Yeah. That's the Manosphere podcast special. And then let's see. Crawley lost bingo again. There he is.
Cubs gone bingo legend.
Yeah, just after his loss. I came one away. Did you get close at all, Mike?
I came one away once, two away a couple times. I didn't have very good stuff, but
Yeah.
I actually outlasted my whole table at the loser card at the end, but I was not actually close to winning that one.
Last year I was one of like 50 people standing.
Yeah, you were hung in there a long time last year.
In there, I was like, "Oh my god, this is my moment." Then it wasn't.
It's like me playing the lottery.
Exactly. I know this is the time.
Like once a year when it gets real big, I play the lottery and I'm like, I got one number.
And the way, I mean, you went to the Bears game. I went to this pitch and hit club, which is where I saw Lou, where I asked him to be on, if he had time to be on the show.
That was great, by the way. I didn't hear all of it, but I got in maybe 5-10 minutes late.
You got to have him. Yeah, I mean, have him on Cubs PS Plus, as well. I mean, I'm sure I'd love to hear him.
That's inferring I'm going to ever do another Cubs PS Plus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you promised.
Where you been,
Cubs,
man?
Yeah, you promised.
Yeah, I'll get one in this weekend.
Look,
I'm finally ready. But it's been, I went back and looked. I haven't done one since mid-September.
Waller, I totally get it though, because I am currently working on the new game, right, of the baseball rabbit hole. I'm calling it War Games, and I'm going to be talking about each player and who's the best by WAR and who, all that stuff. But I have
You're going to hate your own podcast.
I do. I have to I have to try and understand WAR. And I have been knee deep in this shit for like a week. It sucks. There is nothing worse for baseball than math. It's the fucking most soul crushing bit of any bit of baseball that I've ever done. I'm in there and I'm looking at all these things. And I will say this. It's interesting how they do come up with these numbers. But even as I do it, I'm like, this is just a fucking math problem. This has nothing to do with baseball. It's so like separated from baseball. It's a numerical.
Well, it's a quantification of.
Yeah, it's a numerical quantification of art, which you can do, but that's not art. That's not why you go fucking look at art. It's like everybody, trust me.
It's why
everybody
Yachty
who
is a
saw
Hall of Famer.
Danny's bullshit fucking AI Cubes fan having a fucking conversation, everybody hated that because they love the actual Cubes fan that doesn't
The Cubs
move.
pretty much have sucked the life out of me my entire life.
So I got to say, I love the math of baseball. You and I go back and forth on the stats all the time. But when you were just describing going through that little rant there, it made me think of that scene in Dead Poet Society when they are scoring the poetry and they've got the greatness and the beauty and whatever. And then he tells them to rip the fucking pages out of the book.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like there's no place.
Spoiler alert for a movie that came out in 1988.
Fuck a spoiler. No,
Well,
so
it's both, right? I mean, it's not one or the other. It's like you use information you get, and then you try to out of the information you get, you make the best decisions that you can. And I thought it was funny, like on the bitch clock tonight, one of the grievances on the wheel of grievances was, and I believe you put this, Mike, is the Craig's 150 pre-printed lineup cards.
Yes.
Did you write that? I think I did. Yeah. That cracked me up because I was like, that is the problem of war, is because you're looking at these things and you're not necessarily making decisions based upon.
I saw that on the list. I missed this story. What are we talking about with 150 pre-printed fucking cards?
It was the bench, right?
So when they signed Bregman, if they're not going to trade Shaw, they've got and they're talking about playing him and getting some reps in the outfield, so maybe he'll become sort of a super sub. And now they're going to have somebody who has to play. Maybe he'll get 4 starts a week at different positions, giving guys days off. And so my point was, I was jokingly saying that Craig Counsell can't use his 150 pre-printed lineup cards. They'll have to cut that down to maybe
The
100.
problem with Shaw's
Oh, I
super
thought there was actually a. I thought someone had come out in CubsCon where he had actually talked about how he had pre-print. I was like, "Holy shit!"
We know
How
the
did I miss
lineup.
this?
Yeah, every day of the season, it's already done. ChatGPT already said who's going
Right.
to when.
It's January 19th, and I already know who's playing every game.
The problem with Matt Shaw being a super sub is he'll only play right. He will not play left. He won't do it. He won't do it. So then I went to on Sunday night while you were at the Bears game. I went to the pitch and hit banquet. That's where I saw Lucella, and Dawson spoke, and they gave like an award to like the couple little league teams and the softball team and stuff. So I met like the dad of some of the kids and stuff. And we were waiting for Dawson, but you know who was also getting an award that night is one of Michael Cotton's favorites, and that is Mr. Bugshiambi was there. And so I went up to Boog and I said, "Hey, my name's Danny Rocket. I'm I'm from the Sun Ranto show, and I just want to tell you that my co-host Michael Cotton is a huge fan of yours."
No.
Yeah, he's he just loves you. He was so happy when you came to the Cubs. And you can't get enough of you. He plays MLB The Show all day. I tell you.
Oh my God.
But you love him. And so I had him sign this baseball to you.
No. What the fuck? This is the most fucked up thing.
To Michael, go Cubs, Bugshiambi. Wait. This is for the few people that are still here tonight. The hour two.
Oh my God. That's the worst and the best thing ever.
So you're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
That's just so incredible. I'm so happy I got that. I was just giggling at the table after I got it. And I was gonna send you the picture. I was gonna show other people. I'm like, no, I gotta save it all the way to the show. And I managed to keep it a secret until this very moment.
Oh my God. That's amazing. And I know it's against the rules, but I would say let's burn that at the next Cubs, the burning of the ball.
The burning of the ball. We're burning the Boog ball. So
no, send that to me. I will mount that bitch
exactly
right there. I'll stick it right there on the wall somehow.
So it was a great way to end Cubs convention, that's for sure. Getting that Boog autograph and meeting my boyhood hero Andre Dawson.
Your boyhood hero Bugshiambi.
My boy, exactly. Well, no, he's according to Boog. Well, what I told him about you, he's your boyhood hero. No, I was even laughing. I mean, maybe he knew I was kidding. I mean, I'm a pretty good actor. So I was like,
I like how Danny's like, I'm a pretty good actor. Been on. I'm
glad I wasn't there. I don't think I could have kept a straight face through that.
Yeah, I know. I was glad I was alone because you guys, you would have been in the back snickering.
It's honestly, it is a great fear of mine that somehow I'm going to come across this dude because I am an asshole.
You've talked a lot of smack.
Right. I would, because I know that I can't talk to him, right? Because I can't deny how I feel. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like if he were to come up and like say hi to me, I would be like, yeah. Or like
nice to meet you.
I'm terrible with that stuff.
You'd
like
be polite. You'd just be irascible.
I would not speak.
So
It would be terrible.
So we don't really have to go through any of this other Cubs news, but I do think it would be fun to wrap this up by each taking a spin of the bitch clock. What do you say?
Sure.
But we're just going through the categories. Let me get through them, and then we could talk about our feelings on maybe which one you might want to get. that is speaking to you. So you might have heard there's fewer spring training games being televised this year. So I guess there's no reason to have a marquee network. You won't be booing it in a year, right, Tom?
Yep, they're like
Cubs,
not having WGN has worked out so well with building the fan base that we decided to do it every year with spring training.
Well, they're supposed to have every game, so I guess that's not happening. And then here's more of a question: is like, was 1 year of Tucker worth losing Cam Smith? We don't have a right fielder, somebody said. Maybe relatedly, Kyle Tucker is soft as a baby. Not enough hitters. Craig's 150 pre-printed lineup cards. The future Freddie Peralta shutout in the NLDS of the Cubs. That's coming. He got traded to the Mets today. Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat, who future Peralta shutout, who's going to shut us out, got traded for, and now are now the Brewers. The fact that they are definitely going to the Hall of Fame, that is on the wheel of grievances here. That Beltran made the Hall of Fame after cheating. That's kind of random. Ticket and beer prices, Ricketts money going to ICE, bloggers knob gobbling the luxury tax, and Nico Horner trades talk still making the list. And,
I did that last week, didn't I?
Oh, you did? Okay, so let's take that off the list.
I think I bitched about that last week.
So, Mike, you're the last one who has arrived. So why don't we let you go first?
All right.
What do you say? I just need to stop. Oh, hold on. I forgot. We need to spin the wheel. Hold on.
I'm panicking. As Lyle would be so happily saying,
for me. Jesus, just
it's only been a decade. Danny hasn't figured it out.
Well, you don't even do it. So, all right, here we go. Can you see the wheel?
Yep.
I just hope we're getting paid for that ad.
Okay, was 1 year of Tucker worth losing Cam Smith? I guess this just is was worth losing Cam Smith worth it at all, or any of that trade? All right. So now
I feel like this is right in Waller's wheelhouse here.
Yeah, I could go a couple different directions on this one. I'm kind of thinking as I go.
All right, here we go.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
That trade's not going to wind up looking great, but I'm still glad they did it. I know I'm supposed to be bitching here, but I'll bitch about the fact that Jed never did anything. For years, he didn't do anything. And finally, he made a big move to go get Kyle Tucker. Now he's made moves. He's traded Owen Casey for Edward Cabrera. I've seen some grousing about that too. Some of these deals are going to lose. And
10 seconds.
The Cubs sort of lost that when they made the playoffs. I think they made the playoffs because they had Kyle Tucker. So on the whole, I guess I'm okay with it. But Jed needs to do more things.
Stop your bitching.
We're going to doing more things. How about the fact that we now don't have Kyle Tucker, and we don't have Owen Casey, and we don't really have a right fielder that was on the. We have Saya, and Mo Baller,
But whatever, it doesn't.
But if Saya playing right, let's Mo Baller DH. I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. I mean, those things, because fucking Jed's never going to use his toys. They're in the package. They're not worth anything if he opens that package and plays with them. So, like everybody getting their, panties in a knot about
Owen
Cam.
Casey, and he used Owen Casey to get a guy that's got 3 years of control, and I think could be ace level.
That is true. At least Tucker was just the 1 year, and that's a little frustrating.
But Cam Smith would have been no years.
Yeah, Cam Smith's still at AA, just like riding the bus. You know what I mean?
So it's like, that's the thing that everybody forgets. It's like, yes, we see what Cam Smith did, and he actually made the team in Houston and all that stuff, but that's not who the Cubs are. So that was the greatest thing that could have happened to Cam Smith, is to go to a team that was going to let him play.
All right, Michael, you ready to take a spin of the bitch clock?
Sure. Let's see what we get here.
Round and round. Can you see that?
I can see it, but not well enough to read it.
All right. Oh, yeah. I was hoping somebody would get this.
Oh, Jesus.
Could be you. Bloggers, knob gobbling the luxury tax. I mean, you talk about this all the time.
Yeah, this is fucking
This
stupid.
is like the low-hanging fruit candy from a baby kind of bitch clock.
Yeah, I got to figure out how I want to go to it though. You know, like there's another like Waller was saying about his. Like there's a few ways to attack this thing.
All right, here we go.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
Okay, everybody hates the bloggers talking about the fucking luxury tax. The reason we hate it is not that they're talking about the luxury tax. It's that they're talking about money that is not theirs as if it is theirs, as if they're making fucking decisions. And if the Cubs save some money this year, it's gonna fucking help them later. It won't. None of that makes any fucking difference. But the real thing that really fucking frustrates me is the owners knob-gobbling this luxury tax because it's not supposed to be a fucking cap. Just fucking pay your money and give us the goddamn teams that we deserve.
But come on, they're breaking even. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, the motherfucker's breaking even. I was in a conversation with somebody on Blue Sky the other day, and in defense, and it was about the Dodgers spending too much money and all this bullshit, and I was like, no, and he was like, I'm now in favor of a salary cap. And I'm like, that's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard, that this changed your mind because of what they're doing. And he ended up posting that list of like the payroll versus the revenue.
Oh yeah,
right.
Like one of the lowest. Yeah,
that we've all seen. The Cubs are 26 on this thing, and I was like, dude, you posted this as support for yourself, but what it's really showing me is literally every team, including the Dodgers, can spend more on their fucking payroll than they have. The Mets were the only team. They were 90% of their revenue was payroll. And I'm guessing, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. They had 44 million, and they were like, you know what? We can run this team for a year on $44 million. That's what I'm guessing was their calculation, and they went for it. The fucking Dodgers made like 3 times that in revenue versus what they paid. So it's like, if you're making 150 million in revenue over your payroll, you're fine. You're fine. We don't need a fucking salary cap. We just need everybody else to fucking pay all that money.
Yeah, because the guys in the suits aren't playing the games. You know, we don't need those guys. We do not need sports owners. We don't need them. We only need the players and the people that manage the teams. Like, that's all we need.
And getting back to my bloggers knob-gobbling, they're all fucking playing fantasy baseball with the all these stats and these numbers, and they're fucking playing this game, and they're acting as if the purpose of the game is to spend the least amount of money and have the best team. And that's not the purpose of the game. The purpose of the game is to win the fucking game, and don't worry about the goddamn money. Just fucking win the game, because when you win, you make money.
Yeah. Well, Dodgers proven that. I mean, we'll see how it ends up. All right, it was my turn to hit the bitch clock, and let's see what I spin. All right. I don't know.
I want you to get the Ricketts money going to fascists.
Not enough. I just said not enough hitters.
I know we got 2 more Patreon supporters, and I wanted Danny to ruin that.
All right, here we go.
Clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
Look, I perused those Zips projections the other day, and I saw that we've got a fair amount of guys that are, poised to hit maybe between 20 and 30 home runs. That is fabulous to spread that kind of power across the lineup. But what it is not is elite. Why don't we have the hitter that comes up to the plate and strikes
10
fear in the
seconds.
hearts of the pitcher? That they all have to pitch around that guy, which means everybody else sees better pitches. And we don't have that guy still. Kyle Tucker was that guy. He's gone.
Stop your bitching.
And Cubs got to win every game 0 to -1.
Well, if we're lucky, they'll all play above what the numbers on the back of their baseball card say.
That's
because
the plan.
that's Jed's plan.
Hey, Brewers are worse, so that's good. They traded Peralta.
Every time I think that, they win 92 games. So fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
We write them
Brewers
off
are
at our-
never going to be worse until the Brewers are fucking worse after 162 games because they've been doing it to us for years. It's seriously, it's going on like 5-6 years where we're like, this Brewers team sucks. They don't have anything. They're going to be like fourth and they're fucking first like every goddamn year.
And then we have to listen to Wheelo for 4 months.
But you got to admit, that listening to Wheelo for 4 months is kind of fun, because at least we have like someone to get our ire out on. He's like our own punching bag, He's just tell him what you could, because you could say whatever you want to him.
Yeah,
I loved it when I found out he was text trash talking Cotton.
Oh my God.
Great.
And Crawley got him back good. As talking about going through the calendar, seeing the pictures of the Cubs flag that Crawley hung on Wheelo's house.
I mean,
Oh, is that what that was? I
Yeah.
saw the flag on the house.
Yeah.
so yes,
Here, it made
Crawley had the first.
the cover. Look at down in the corner. I put Crawley on top of it.
Yep. Crawley definitely had the first major blow. Kind of rocked Wheelo. But the Cubs caroling.
Oh, yeah. You got him back.
Wheelo dropping the fat kangaroo. Oh my God.
No, fat
Fucking
koala.
fat koala. That's right.
Fat koala.
Fat koala. That's an all timer.
Yeah. I still got to make that obvious shirt, the fat koala obvious shirt.
And have it hanging. Have that picture of Wheelo's house and a fat koala hanging off of that flag pole.
So I
gotta say, can I make an obvious shirt plug here real quick?
Yeah, please do.
So we were going through all the shops at the end on the last day we were there, and Sam was looking around for something to buy, and I told you he's a big Kyle Hendricks fan. They had a shirt, Professor Emeritus, now that he's retired, which I thought was pretty inspiring.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Michael, I forgot. I actually got an obvious shirt off the sale rack for you.
God damn you.
Here it is. Boobs Army. Fighting to find a cure.
And you know what? That shirt is garbage. I can see it in the picture. It's not made of any good quality fabric. I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's like plastic stretched across something.
I think it's just has been sale racked. You ever go and you're looking at stuff that's been on rack after rack, they're like, nobody wants this damn thing. You can't even mark it down enough. But so
here we go. Here's the Professor Emeritus shirt.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's a great shirt. I like that, Professor Emeritus. That's great.
So are you guys ready for a new and actually I can't say improved. He's actually worse. But are you ready for a brand new Cubstradamus?
Oh my God. Do you want to smell what the Cubstradamus is cooking?
All right.
No.
Smell away.
So bad.
Smell away.
Unless you're a liberal beta, it's time to crack a cerveza. In much better weather, it's pitchers and catchers and spring training baseball in Mesa.
Wow.
Gotta love AI.
Cubstradamus hit the gym, I guess.
You see his bathrobe? I mean, it's the things you got to ask these days to get things done. I need a blue deity, Cubs related, surrounded on a baseball related throne, wearing a terry cloth bathrobe. Now I should have made, and I put a gross smelly beard.
Yeah, well, I will say the last version that you had, much better facial expressions than this new one.
Yeah. Well, the last one is just your memoji, off your phone.
Memoji is doing it with the facial expressions. It blows me away every time. This one, that's just he's all man spreading and trying to show off his junk. Like it's not good.
Yeah. So I'll be using that one again then. All right. Ranter Fest, I just wanted to let everybody know, is 6/6. Save the date.
6626.
I think I'm also, this is brand new. I didn't even write this down in the notes, but 6/27, I believe, is the date that we're going to sing. Me and Bleacher Jeff, are going to sing the national anthem at South Bend Cubs, and the Bleacher Bum Band will play after the game. So I think we'll try to put together a big group ticket thing. We'll go out to South Bend and have a time out there. And then Cincinnati on September 19th. We have about 5 Bleacher Bum Band gigs that are going to be throughout the year. When those get confirmed, I'll let you know.
I'm glad we're doing Cincy again. That was a blast last year.
Cincy was a blast. And, I think, 5 Bleacher Bum Band gigs, Cincinnati, Ranter Fest, Dan Nielsen's birthday. We got a lot to do.
Yeah, Danny, do you have the lineups already printed for those 5 gigs?
Yes, the songs, even the non-written ones. I have the titles all written, and I'll just fill that in later and write a song around that thought. So, Mike, did you join #Chance before you joined the show so you could win the Chance postcard? Oh, do we have any TFCs? I don't really have one.
I have 2. I do have 2. Also, shout out to Yumper. We broke the 2-hour mark. It's been a while since we've broken the 2-hour mark. So,
you and I did it in one shot.
Yeah, I mean,
first time you were on my show, we went 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, we just haven't done it in a while. But yes, Danny is 100% correct. Lou Sella rocked it. Like, he was just so good that we didn't want to stop talking to him. That was seriously one of, if not the best guest we've ever had. And we've been doing this for a long ass time.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm gonna start a podcast with Lou Sella now. You're out, Cotton. Boom, just out the door. You just got Wally Pipped. It's the Danny Lou show now. Woo!
Danny Lou. It's like that's like Desi Lou, right? But it's Danny Lou.
Danny Lou Productions. Yeah, Danny Lou.
Yeah.
The one thing I think you guys missed, though, is you should have asked him to come up with a Cubes fan statue.
Well, we asked him to make a statue of Crawley.
Yeah.
I want to make it out of mashed potatoes, though.
But
and could you put a little bit more fat koala in it there, Lou?
All right.
Yeah, what's your TFC?
Okay, so I got 2 TFCs. The first one is just a throwback to the old days. This is little Grover. Oh, why didn't it go up? Grover Cleveland Alexander. 100 years ago news, January 22nd, 1926, Chicago Cubs pitching ace Grover Cleveland Alexander keeps his hurling arm in trim at a city bowling alley. He calls the sport a great out-of-season conditioner because back in the day, this was off-season training right here.
Just going wearing bowling shoes. He's gonna scuff the alley. Oh no!
They didn't have bowling shoes back then because everybody just wore like nice dress shoes whenever they went out.
Yeah.
Like, look at what he's got. He's got a suit with a vest. That's like a 3-piece suit. The coat is hung up somewhere. Yeah. Probably at a coat check with a valet and shit. And it's the bowling alley.
Fancier. Way fancier. We should start going to the game in like coat suits and hats and stuff. That'd be fun.
We do. They're just all Cubs related. Okay, and then here's another one, and this one is talking about John Lester and the Hall of Fame. And I thought it was a fun interaction here. So Twilight Sapphire, talking about John Lester, says, he's a first ballot Hall of Very Good in my book. Also, he's the only guy I've seen throw his glove with the ball in it to first. That's got to count for something, which I totally agree. That needs to be a Hall of Fame, like one of the things they look at. If you're a pitcher and you throw the ball in a glove, that gives you at least 1 point. But Metric Conductor, your book is wrong. Which, okay, so I thought that was funny. But Twilight Sapphire comes back and then backs off. Okay, maybe not first ballot of Hall of Very Good, but in there for sure. Which I don't know why he's backing off his statement. But then Metric Conductor comes back, and apparently maybe he's replying to somebody else from a different thing, because he says, you have to remember who's voting. He doesn't have the big 2 in his stats. Here is a question for both of you. What is, in terms of pitchers, what is the big 2 in the stats that you need for the Hall of Fame?
I don't
Do
know.
either of you have any clue?
Did he win a Cy Young? Maybe I don't think he won a Cy Young.
200
But
strikeouts,
probably
two ERA.
big 2, they're probably talking about 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts. Maybe.
No, it's a 2. There's a 2 somewhere. Like
Yeah,
the
but-
number 2.
Oh,
No,
the
the-
number
I-
2? I don't know. I don't know if it's the number 2 or if it's the big 2 stats. Like Waller was saying, like 300 wins he doesn't have, but he has like 200, right? Maybe doesn't have that many.
Oh, the big 2 categories. Okay, not the like a big 2. Like I'm just thinking like 200 wins, 20 wins. That has a 2 in it. No, but I got you. So you maybe I don't know. So keep going.
mean, I don't even know. And then
Too late in the
Twilight
show.
Sapphire comes back and says, it almost seems like you're saying he won't be in the Hall of Fame, which means you agree with me with what I said, because that's also what I said. So why am I wrong? And that is the perfect distillation of social media arguments. Right.
Lester wound up with exactly 200 wins.
Yeah, 200 wins. So I don't know what he's talking about with the big 2 in the stats that you need, because if wins is one of the big 2, nobody's ever getting in again. Like
No.
it's just not going to happen. I mean, 200 is about the top of what anybody's going to do for a while.
And a guy freaking pitches 6 innings and the crowd leaps to their feet like he just like pitched a complete game. Like, you know, oh, 6 innings. Oh, look at this guy. You know, I'm like,
And
And sometimes the guy's just a dude, and Lester was a dude.
yeah, I don't know if Lester's going to get in the Hall of Fame, but I think he's got a very good chance, especially
He won't be a
based on
first ballot, but I think he has a shot.
right. Oh, definitely not first ballot, but I mean, who is the first ballot like that we have anymore? And that's the thing. After what I saw is going in this year, Beltran, Kent, and
Andrew Jones.
Jones, yeah. None of those guys, 0, are guys that I looked at and said, you know what? That's a fucking Hall of Famer. That's a guy that's going in for sure. You know what I mean?
Actually,
Like,
I thought Andrew Jones. I always thought of Andrew Jones that way.
he had less than 2,000 hits.
But the way he played D, like I want to reward the defense too.
yeah.
Well, you can reward the defense, but they never have before. So why fucking change it for Andrew Jones? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, yes, there are more to, there's more to it. And maybe if I looked at some of those things more, it would change my mind. But he's not a guy that just jumps off the page, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
And neither is Lester.
Yeah, and neither is Lester, but I could totally see him getting in at some point because the Hall of Fame is sort of gotten devalued. And the Hall of Fame itself hasn't been devalued, but the way that
It only
players are used and the way that they can put together their numbers, the only way they can get in is on stats that we're not used to really looking at for Hall of Fame stuff.
They're compared to their own era. It's political. But why don't I give
if
away?
They were compared to their own era, why isn't anybody talking about Mark Grace? Because Mark Grace is not a Hall of Famer.
Probably because he's a dick and nobody likes him.
Right.
That's probably why. I mean, that is honestly probably the reason why.
Right. But if I'm just saying, if you compare him to his era, in his era,
because like they're not gonna be like, this guy had a bunch of doubles. Like they don't care. It's like not enough to like put you in there.
Yeah.
It's like it's not. So
Andrew Jones didn't even need to get 2,000 hits. Like, and by the way, I don't think Grace did. No, Grace I think got over 2,000, but he didn't get to 3,000.
No. Hey Danny, before you do the prizes, I didn't have a TFC, but I got a good memory from CubsCon. Just to close this out, you never know what you're going to see. We got to see Fergie Jenkins come up and do Harry karaoke twice, right? He sang 2 songs that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did he sing?
Oh, what did he sing?
Yeah, My Girl, and then I forget what the second one was.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was great.
Yeah, and you sounded pretty good too.
He did.
Everyone was having a really good time, man. And yeah, see Fergie sing. And there's only a handful of people. CubsCon was packed, but by that time of the night, I would say there's a few hundred of us hanging out down there.
Yeah.
So we were the only ones treated to that special moment of seeing Fergie sing "My Girl." So,
Yeah.
Well, let me share the chance screen here. Hashtag chance in the chat. You can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Let's pick it. Boom.
Oh, look, there's a good number of names in there this week, but it's probably going to be.
It's always down. Corey Furlong, who's earlier in the chat said, someday are you going to come and try to get back all the chance postcards you've sent to me? The answer is yes. When you die, I'm knocking on the door and I'm going to get all those chance postcards from Chrissy. Grace had 2,445 hits. Yeah, I mean, he probably should be in the Hall of Fame, but nobody likes him.
Right. But the thing about that, the thing about that 2445 is that it was the most hits in the 90s. The 90s was just rough era for hitters.
Well, just like everything about Generation X, they just don't care, and we're not going to get our comeuppance. The boomers will just take all the Hall of Fame slots, and then maybe the millennials will get some eventually.
The thing they really need to do, they got to figure out I guess they sort of have, but really the steroid era guys have to go in. I mean, Barry Bonds was great. Sosa's hit 60 home runs 3 times.
That's the 90s.
We can tell the story of the era and let those guys in at the same time.
Yeah, see, and that's the hard part, is it like they don't, on one hand, they want to say, well, they're the best of their era, but on the other hand, they want to say, well, are they the best of all time? And they go back and forth on that sort of dichotomy.
Barry Bonds is yes to both.
But it really should be in their era. And in their era, Barry Bonds was the best baseball player taking steroids. Of all the baseball players taking steroids, Barry Bonds was the best, and probably the second best was Sammy Sosa. And so you got to give those guys their due.
Mark McGwire, another one.
Because they were going against their era. And it's not, and for a while, I think a lot of us mistakenly thought the pitchers weren't doing it, but that's been proven wrong as well. A lot of the pitchers were doing steroids. So that means steroid hitters were going against steroid pitchers, which
and I hate the idea
the playing
that,
field.
Well, we can't let them in because they're cheaters. But Gaylord
Carlos
Perry's
Beltran.
We're going to take him out. Beltran's in. We got David Ortiz. David Ortiz was tied up with the roids just like everybody else, but we love David Ortiz. So, stop doing this bullshit about who we liked and who we didn't. Just let the best players in and move on.
Ty Cobb had an orphan who slept under his bed that he just unceremoniously got rid of at some point. You know what I mean? There's the people in the hall. I mean, the guy's a hit king, but
Well, here's the other thing. It's okay, I think, it's okay to go a year without putting a Hall of Famer in. You don't have to put people in. You don't have to do it. They just want to do it because they want people to come there and have that event, right?
Oh, I want to go to it at some point. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to
I'm actually going to help coach a baseball team in Cooperstown this summer. I think our league goes around inauguration. I don't know, maybe I'll stay.
Very
Nice.
cool. Yeah, that's a huge tournament. My nephew went before as well.
Yeah. No, I mean,
we should wrap this up. It is 10:30.
I have
11
no
freaking
doubt
30 here.
that it's good, but yeah. Okay.
gave away the chance.
We'll discuss the Hall of Fame on the next show.
Yeah.
Right there with
Exactly.
Cubs grades.
Yeah, we'll do Cubs grades on the next show. I don't even have a song ready to go. I was gonna do "Damn Steve Bartman" because it was just in my head this weekend. So I've got to upload it real quick. So you can keep talking, I guess, Michael.
Like, God damn it! You're cutting me off, and you can't even fucking end the show when you cut me off.
It's
Oh,
I'll
do this.
Files.
Yumper and I are going to record a new episode of Frame for Frame. You can get that on the Sadistic Penguins at the Show podcast. We do this every so often, and we're talking about remakes. And this week, we're going to talk about RoboCop, the original 1987 versus the 2014 remake. So if you're interested in non-baseball shit, you can check that out. It'll be out sometime next week.
And Mike, when are you going to record next?
Just a quick hitter about kind of getting things moving again. So I think I have an idea what I'm going to talk about, but I'll record. I'm not sure if I'll get it tomorrow, but I'll get it over the weekend. We're going to get frozen in Charlotte. We got the ice storm coming, so I have nothing else to do.
Well,
It's going to be minus 33 here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so freaking cold. So everybody stay safe. Run your water a little bit. Drip your faucets, because that could be an issue. Pipes burst in my last building. So, and I guess I got nothing else to say but spagog.
Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 more years until we won it all. Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his. Damn Steve Bartman, all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 more years until we won it all. Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his fault. Some fans want to blame a little goat for the curse that occurred so long ago. I blame Bartman sitting in the first row with a stupid turtleneck and his 80s headphones. Some blame Orson Dallas, some blame Dusty Baker. I'm still blaming Bartman almost 20 years later. Bartman interfered with one of the Cubbies players. Hope he's no catch now when he goes to meet his maker. Damn Steve Bartman, all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 years until we won it all. Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his. Damn Steve Bartman, all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 years until we won it all. Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his fault. Some fans want to blame a New York cat, but all Bartman had to do was stand a little back. Moist so who even knew he could have made the catch. That's why Bartman's name is forever in the trash. His name should be on a half-gallon milk carton that says missing worst cup fan Steve Bartman. If I was awarded, he'd never get a pardon. If I pitched against him, I'd give him my high hard one. Damn Steve Bartman, all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 years until we won it all. Damn Steve Bartman, it was all his. Damn Steve Bartman, all his fault. Never should have reached over the wall to catch the ball. Had to wait 13 years until we won it all.